evening and welcome. This is Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson. How are you doing? I'm excited about today because I get to be in front of amazing people such as yourself, coming to you tonight with amplifying, navigating, and understanding timing and seasons. What season of our lives are we in? How does that correlate to the natural season of fall that we have entered into? For some places, they have daylight savings time, and that time has shifted 1 hour backwards. Other places did not do daylight savings time, and they are just still the same time they were in the summer. So good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. For those who are watching me, do me a favor and share out this video, especially if I have any of my Kyelers online. They know who they are. So if you are one of our students for Kyel International University, if you can share this out, that will be awesome. If I have any of my royalties as well online, share that out. Any of our elite Church in You organization participants, then you can also share this out. So good evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the shift. There is a shift taking place. It is now. It is today. Every time I have these word of the Lord's and understanding timing and season, something shifts and something happens. But this month that we are in, it is definitely a time and a season of shift. I'm going to talk about reestablishment and what that has to do with Israel, the nation of Israel. What does that have to do with us that is in other parts of the world, and how that is a shift taking place, and how this is a very historical month. So November is a very, very historical month, and I'm thrilled to be sharing that with you this evening. So thank you again for those who are joining me. If you'll just comment and let me know who's watching me, who are my peoples, who are my folks. It's just a very interesting time in which we are living in right now, and things are shifting and changing. But I'm going to talk specifically about the shift in your lives and how you can participate with that. All right, so share out the video, let people know I'm live, I'm online. I'm excited. I am happy. I'm thrilled. This is a season and a month of change. New things are happening. New things are going on. Share out the video again to your news feed, to the groups that you belong to. Let them know that Dr. Carolyn is on, because it's an amazing day today. And it's an amazing season in which we are living in. And so it's a very amazing month. November is the month of shift. November is the 11th month, and we're going to talk about the number 11 tonight, what it all entails, as well as sharing about the 8th number and the 9th number, which is the Hebrew calendar. So I have been doing these sessions for about 5 to 6 years. The first Wednesday of every month, which is the 4th day. And on the 4th day, what God created was timing and seasons. And so we are doing today timing and seasons, understanding the shift that is taking place, and we're thrilled and pumped and happy. All right. So thank you so much for those of you who are joining me. I'm excited and ecstatic. And I am just waiting for everyone to get caught up so that all the social media platforms that I am sharing this through, that people will be able to know that I am on and be able to join me. All right. I'm gold here tonight. I'm trying something new, you all. Dr. Carolyn has a birthday coming up in December. I'm a December baby. And I'm going to be doing some new things, looking differently. I've been walking and just dropping those pounds. Walking is so therapeutic. And so I'm pumped. All right. So let me do a watch party in one of my groups. Let me also share this in Messenger. All right. Stay with me now. We're having a great, wonderful, mighty time. This is good. We are having fun today. Fun in the sun. All right, my peeps, Latrita. All right, okay, so welcome everyone again. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson. I'm going to share tonight about shift. So I've been doing these, like I said, I can't find the watch party thing. Maybe they don't have those anymore. Yeah, maybe they don't. Oh well. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm in the sharing mode, but we can't focus on that right now. Let me turn my ringer off so that no one call me. Let me go on do not disturb so that no one disturbs me either. All right, here we go. All right, so we're navigating and learning how to navigate. That's the title of this one today. How to navigate the times and then the seasons in which we're living in. As I am speaking to you today, I don't know, because I have not been watching, if there is an actual new president and or the presidential election has been determined. I don't know that. What I do know that regardless of what the outcome will be in the next coming days, that there is going to be something completely different that is happening in the United States of America. There is definitely a divide. There are unanswered questions. There is, some uncomfortable, unsettling feeling, and never in the history of our voting in our time frame has there been such a time like it is now. So we are in that moment of the pandemic, right? The COVID-19 pandemic globally. There's also anxiety, there's fear, there's many people losing loved ones. There are the division, the uprising, and of course the election. And so there's so many things that is happening simultaneously. And if you are one that reacts, you are a reactor, which means you react to what's happening in and around you. It's kind of a very difficult time right now. One of the things that I've been able to do to set myself apart from everything that's happening in and around the world is just literally to have peace of mind. I know how to shift and how to switch off and switch on my brain. So I was just talking before with someone and was sharing how I've actually erased some people from my brain just so I don't have to dwell and think about certain things. I've just literally just erased some folks from my brain. And I know how to do that because I've studied it. It is easy for me, but it's not easy for everyone. I'm going to offer tonight some simple principles and things that can be done to shift in this month of shift. All right. So let me see who I have out here live with me right now. Hey, Nancy. We have Nancy out here with me right now. If you drop your name in the comment section, then I'll be able to see it. So welcome again. Thanks for joining. Get your notebooks out because I'll give some nuggets this evening. I want to check and see if Carrie Ann knows that I am live, because she is one who always gets something out of what I am saying and take it and apply it into her life. Genesis, if you're out here, just drop a comment so I can give you a shout out. Any other pageant and Kyelers that are here as well, if you'll put your name in the chat, then I'll be able to recognize you as I see the comments. All right. So we're living in a time frame where there's so many unpredictables. There are moments and times and season in which we are living in. The reason why it is significant to understand time, to understand seasons of your life. There are actually 10 seasons in our lives. And in order to fully understand where you are, what you should do, what you should be doing now, what steps shall you take? Should you, kind of chill and rest back? Should you go forward? When is it a time to move, a time to be still, a time to go, a time to be quiet, a time to speak? There is timing and seasons for everything under the sun. Knowing the when and knowing the how is so critical in our day and times in which we are living in right now, right? It is so critical. It's so significant when you are in tune and you understand. The birds understand timing and seasons. The birds know when it is time to start to flee together or the flock together so that they can migrate from the Midwest or from the colder states to the summer states, or the warmer states. The ants, they know when to start gathering their food because brother winter is coming. They know when to hibernate. The flowers, they know when to start, going down or not blooming because it's not springtime. The trees, they know when it is time to start pulling chlorophyll from the branches and from the leaves. That is why the trees turn color to their roots, because it is the root, which is the foundation of life, that they need to sustain them in the event there is a very harsh winter. There are some winters, and we've had that in our own lives, where there's a tree that we had that did not survive the harsh winter, and they actually got what's called winter burn. So they did not get enough chlorophyll into that root. So when the springtime comes up, that tree did not spring up, and unfortunately, it has to be cut down. So it is in life. We should know, and every human being should be walking and understanding when it is time to do something, when you know what your purpose is, and where you should be going, what you should be doing, who you should be talking to, then life becomes really peaceful. I don't go live a lot anymore, simply because there's so much chaos and there's so many differences of opinions around the world, and so many, stuff. And so I'm kind of chilling, laid back, being in a mode of just I have some things. There's the university to we're having our inaugural graduation in December. There are the pageant that we're having our nationals in 2021. There's a Mega Life Club and the Mega Life Experience that is coming up. And so just being on the space and stuff, you just got to know your timing and know your seasons. So this that I'm coming with you this evening, I'm going to drop and I'm going to share from a prophetic perspective what is happening now and what can be done to participate, because it has to be a participation with the season of life. There are 10 different seasons of life, separate from nature seasons. So we have the summer, the spring, the winter, the fall. But in life, there are 10 seasons, and I like to talk about them and give a little refresher at times whenever I'm going through this. So there's 10 different seasons in life, and if you have a pen, a paper, you can write these down. I'll be just really quick. The first season of life is being parented. So that's the teenage years. Those are when someone is prospering, they're growing, propelling, they're being molded. Those are those years. It's the teenage years. And then there's the second season, which is a major season, which is that pit. Then the third season is Potiphar's house. The prison season is number 4. And this is like an analogy to Joseph's life. Then there's that preparation season, the practicing. This is where Joseph changed his clothes. Then there is that season of prophesying, of speaking, of decreeing and declaring that which you're looking for in your life, believing and having that hope and that faith. Then there's a season of promotion. Then there's the palace season, one of my favorite seasons. Then there's that promise season. Then stepping into the 10th season is purpose. And thereafter, living in purpose, you're living in perpetual abundance. And these 10 seasons of life, some people keep going through one season and one cycle over and over and never really graduating from one to the other. So very specific reasons for that are because some people just don't pass the test. There are tests that are given out, and life is a process. It is a journey. And there are people who just can't go through the test and fulfill that in the way it needs to be. And therefore, those individuals don't pass it, and they keep going back over and over again. And life becomes a cycle. And then there are those where you hit that rock bottom, and when the bottom is not sweet, but the bottom is necessary so that it propels you to the highest height. Because the further you go back, the farther you go forward. And so just like a slingshot or a catapult, The further you are pulled back, the further you are stretched, right? The further you feel the pain, the further you just feel like you just don't have anything else to give. The further that catapult goes back, it's the further it can go forward. So if you feel like you've kind of bottomed out, you've hit that rock bottom, that's because now you're getting ready for your launching pad to take off, to propel into that season. To propel into that season. I just got a note and it's funny and I'm laughing. So, geez, I'm hot. It's like 70 degrees, and so this hair is making me hot. Okay, so that's why I'm moving it. Let's see who's out here joining me. So, hey, I got Ms. Mississippi. I got a Ms. Black America, soon to be senior, soon to be Dr. Kathy Amos out here joining me. Who else do I have out here? I did mention Nancy, who's our national ambassador, as well as a Kailer. And who else do we have? All right. Okay, so navigating those seasons. November is a month of shift. So Joseph, I won't be long this evening. Joseph, who is the 11th son, was the shift in their family. He was the one that was in Egypt, that was sold into slavery. Let me turn my phone off. That was sold into slavery and got into the palace. And he was the son, or he was the tribe, or the house of Joseph was that which shifted everything for him. And so it was even in the gospel days, in the biblical days when Jesus was on earth, the shift that took place from him going from Jesus walking on earth to the risen Savior, there were only 11 apostles, 11 disciples that were with him, because Judas had betrayed Jesus and took his own life. And so there was no 12. So whenever the number 11 shows up, which actually also represents a portal because it is two ones standing strong, whenever the number 11 appears, there is always a shift that is taking place, a transition. So this month is actually a transition month. It's the last of the fall season. And then here comes winter, right? Here comes winter. And so Joseph, being the 11th son, 11 representing also wealth, is the one that brought the wealth. He is the second in command. He is that one that stepped into a position of palace. He's a shifter. And so it is. This is the month to activate and to take a shift, and just take a step forward into your purpose, into your destiny, even if your season means to chillax. Sometimes chillaxing, or I should call it a dedicated moment of time just to be with yourself, to be in that space. It's a good thing. It is a good thing to grow in certain areas. We all need that pause moment in our lives. Joseph had a pause moment. That was his prison season. He couldn't go around and walk around like when he was at Potiphar's house. But he made the best of it. In no matter what season of life, you can use your gifts. Your gifts are what makes the room for you. It gives you the opportunity to still be able to prosper and to be in good health, right? So this is that month of shifting. And in the Hebrew month, it is approaching the 9th month, which means you can shift and birth something new simultaneously. Whenever there is a shift, there is a movement. So whenever there's a shift, it requires a movement. Literally shifting, like I'm doing physically from one place to another, is also a movement. And so movement requires some tenacity, requires going forward, taking a step. We have a major shift coming up in our organizations, and we're excited about that. We won't share what it is on this broadcast, but that's coming up. There's some inaugural graduations. There's some stepping into a new place. There's crossing over from one place to another. It's exciting. It's an exciting time, even though there is chaos. So how do you navigate? In order to navigate, which is a topic of life in these times and seasons, in order to not become insane, in order to not allow anxiety, fear, what's happening in society to overshadow and overtake you, it requires some simple things, but they may let me take that back. It requires doing some things, and they can be very simple. Last night on my special edition show, I talked about journaling, how journaling is very therapeutic, how taking the time to write, taking the time to even walk, to be able to get some fresh air, to be able to take certain steps is actually very therapeutic and can help you as you're getting shifted. In order for God to speak to you, it can't be in the noise. So it can't be in the hustle and bustle of everything. It can't be in the midst of everything. It can't be in a state of crisis. It has to be in a still small voice, right? That's how he speaks. And so being able to hear your purpose, being able to hear the new vision, the dreams, the ideas, and all the amazing things that are in store for you, that requires having and giving yourself the moment to be able to breathe, to be able to pause, to be able to introspect and look within yourselves and to see how great you are, how wonderful you are. Some of the things I do personally is I don't watch television. I'll turn it on for a little bit. I do watch Family Feud because it's funny, but I choose what I want to watch because it will it gets into your filter system, it infiltrates you and before you know it, it's consuming and you can't sleep, you can't rest. When you can't sleep and you can't rest and you can't dream, you can't hear your visions, you can't see them, you can't manifest them, they can't come to pass, and life becomes this whirlwind and out of control. So one of the things I do to navigate in this time and seasons is I just stay away from it right now. It's, the news is going to be reported whether I'm watching it or not. So I don't have to participate with it. Actually, I get my news from Facebook. So when I check Facebook and I go on there and I, become social and check in and see what's going on and comment here, post there, do that kind of stuff, that's where I get my news from. So that's probably where I will see the winner, or the new president, or even if it's Trump, it's still a new president because it's another presidency. So this is where we'll see it, regardless of who it is, at least for me. So I stay away from television. I stay away from the noise. I don't participate in certain topics. I don't get myself involved in things that it's just not. It's not going to have a good outcome, or people are really trying to understand your point of view. They really just have their mind made up, and you can't change somebody's mind. So I just stay away from arguments. I stay away from that kind of stuff, and just don't get involved in all that kind of stuff, because life has to be something that you take control of. You can't allow in this shift to have the outside influence of things that comes into your system and messes up your vision, that you don't see with your eyes, but you see with your mind. And then before you know it, things start to get into here, because as we think, so are we. Every thought becomes a behavior. So this is where we actually live. So in order to make sure that this is clear, these are some of the things I stay away from. I journal my thoughts. So I have lots of journals, and I have my own journal, the Mega Life Journal by Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson, that you can find on Amazon. So I have the Mega Life Journal. Mega means make every day good again. Okay, there we go. And life means live it fully every day. I really do live out this life. I do have the Mega Life symbols in my home, standing over the fireplace. It says make every day good again and live it fully every day. When I don't feel like, things are happening in the mega realm, like, it's not good, I shift it. And I have the power to be able to do that because I can shift it with my thoughts and with my mind. So this is a month of stepping into that wealth, of becoming the person of prosperity, of walking in that place one step at a time. Can't be rushed. Can't go to the middle of the process. You got to start one step at a time. Every new journey starts with the first step. Taking that first step, even for you, you got to know what season of life you are in. Not all of us are in the same season of life. You got to know what is it that you're supposed to be doing now, and whatever that is, do it, and do it with grace, do it with honor. Even if it's a season where it doesn't feel good, it will come out and be better for your good. That was my 2016 when I was in the home. I didn't work. I didn't have any clients. God told me to shut it down. No coaching, no speaking, no consulting. I wasn't even on social media. He told me to get completely off. That year became now the best years, or one of the best years of my life, because I really got to see people for who they are, and I got to know God for myself. I did not have to know him through someone else or through someone preaching him to me. I knew him for myself. So whatever season of life that you are going through, the time is now to really get in tune with you and journaling, writing down those thoughts. My quote is, if it is not written, it doesn't exist. If it's not written, it doesn't exist. So write it down. You never know. Those thoughts that you are penning could simply be a book. It could be an article. It could be a blog. It could turn into something that you will speak about one day. You just never know. It can be a part of your finals. For those of you who are watching me that are Kailers, you got to write your final paper. There is no way around that. All right. And so, write, get those thoughts out of here and put them on paper. When you physically check things off of your checklist, it comes out of here. And so don't have your mind be consumed with so much things, so much knowledge. For those of you who are straight thinkers, start putting what your thoughts are on paper. Get them out of here and put them down so that there's room in here to be able to shift, and there's room for your wealth. There's room for your prosperity, prospering in your health, your finance, your relationships, your faith, and your purpose. That's true prosperity. So, hey, Kathy, good evening. I think I said that already. I have Kathy on here with me as well. I see Kimberly Rome, who's also here with me, and Nancy. Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. All right. A lot of people are watching the election stuff, so they will see this thereafter. Okay. So, all right. And let me see if there are any questions. I don't see any. So this is a month of shift and to birth a shift. So in order to birth a shift, there will be a little shaking, right? That's normal. That's natural. Just a little shaking here and a little shaking there that will take place. But it's all good. Life's good. Life's great. Life is awesome. And no matter what is going on in the world, you have the power to shift. You have the power to control those behaviors, because it comes with your thoughts. So how you think about the matter is how it's going to consume you. So think good thoughts, think happy thoughts, think things that are well. If you have someone that you have lost and you're going through a difficult season, go through it, heal, go through it though. Don't try to skip the process. When you feel angry, get angry, cry, go through the memories, feel. That's one of the things that is required as individuals as we're shifting, is to be able to feel, to be in the presence, to be in the moment. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm at my time. I'm only going to do half an hour today, because I am actually doing some live things throughout the weekend, as I will be sharing more about navigating through these times and seasons, because I really feel and know that there are so many people right now that's just not doing well. And I want to be a help and a guide to those in this time and in this season. So, all right, that comes to the end of my time. So this is that season. This is that moment. This is the time to shift into a new dimension, shift into a new space. We're in November, you all. One more month until the end of the Gregorian calendar. Today is day 4, and it's also the 4th day, and 4 is the number of timing and seasons. God gave us that sun and that moon so that we can understand our days and our times and seasons. We ought to number those days, right? We don't know what our tomorrow will bring. And so all we have is today. So make the best of it. If you have not yet started journaling, start now. The time is now. Put those thoughts there. Become just so excited about your writing and spending that moment with yourself before you go and lay your head to rest, and in the mornings also to journal. It's just so therapeutic and it's so exciting. All right. So thank you for joining me this evening. I am excited to be able to come to you today and for just sharing just a nugget and just knowing that life is great. no matter what's going on around you, life is great, because as long as you have the breath of life and you can breathe, it is a good life. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. Have an amazing rest of your day, and looking forward to spending more time with you on this social space. Be well.